Okay, people. So we're gonna start off things with going back to 2020. Right? There was a film called Monster Hunter that came out, and I think I don't have a lot of people talking about it. Right? I was it's a little intrigued. It's a little intrigued to what type of film this would be. Right? There's a book series called Monster Hunter, which is, I mean, it started off a little bit like, kind of interesting, but it did fall into the trap of being mad, predictable, stereotype, just all of that shit, right? Which I tapped out. But I think this is actually based on a Capcom video game series. Um, but I don't know. I don't play video games, man. So I have no clue how reflective of the game this is, right? If it really is like, oh shit, they did this and they brought that to life, and I have no clue, people. I have no clue. Now it is directed by Paul W.S. Anderson, and Anderson, right? I hate a lot of the films he's made. I hate a lot. Like the first Resident Evil wasn't too bad, right? I like Michelle Rodriguez. She was in it. Um, it got hokey, but it was okay. The one film which I just love, Event Horizon. Event Horizon. And I watch Event Horizon and I just think, how the fuck did this dude then go on to make like these really bad films? Pompeii, The Three Musketeers, all the other Resident Evil films. They're just, oh, I mean, listen, I will say, right, they are popular films. You know what I mean? So they're not for me, but hey, a load of people love those films. So, you know what I mean? There is that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't really resonate with his stuff. But yeah, he wrote the film as well as directing it. You know what I mean? It is produced by himself, Dennis Baradi, Jeremy Bolt, Genevieve Hoffmeyer, Robert Kulza, Martin Moshkovich. It is executive produced by Hiro Matsuzuka, Edward Chung, Howard Chen. It is associate produced by Kanem Fujuka. It is line. Oh, and also Ryuzu Tasajumuto, and line produced by Donovan Roberts Baxter. Music is from Paul Hazlinger. Cinematography is Glenn McPherson. It is edited by Doobie White. Casting is Tamara Lee Notcott. It is production design is Edward Thomas. Art direction is Guy Potgieter, Cecilia Van Straten, and Mark Walker. Set direction is Tracy Perkins. Costume design is Daniel Knox. All the hair and makeup is from Jill Green, Rhett Haywood, Kimberly Lever, Anik Chavez, Nino Raymond Shongui, Kerry Skelton, Natasha Strawick, and Jessica Vassi. Production manager is Calvin Haywood and Scott Strauss. Now, our cast. Obviously, right? Paul W.S. Anderson, He makes a film, his wife stars in it. I mean, it always happens, right? So yes, Mila Djokovic is Captain Artemis, Captain Natalie Artemis. We have then got Ti, right? Oh, Ti is up in the film. Um, he plays a character called Lincoln. Megan Good is a character called Dash. Josh Hellman is Steeler. Diego Bonetta is Marshall. So these are all members of Artemis's Ranger team. You know what I mean? We then have got Hunter, played by Tony Jaa, right? And he's part of Ron Perlman, the Admiral, his group, right? And in this, I think there's Axe, played by Jin Au-Yeung. Handler, played by Hirona Yamazuki. Yeah, it all gets a little confusing, right? There's a load of people up in there, and you're like, who is this person? Yeah, I mean, I think that's round about it. It's a load of people doing stuff, and you don't really know who they are, right? But they're there. There's Aiden, played by Janik Shurman. Leah, played by Nanda Costa. Rock, played by Nick Resenti. You got Shalina Bennett, Bart Fuch, Pope Gerard, Aaron Bellner, Paul Hampshire, Clyde Burning. They're all in there as kind of soldiers and the whatnot. But the gist of the film is this. While on a peril-laden mission to track a missing team of soldiers, hard as nails, U.S. Army Ranger Captain Natalie Artemis and her elite brothers in arms find themselves transported to an alternative universe. They're trapped in a barren desert world rife with formidable adversaries and subterranean sand-dwelling beasts. For the first time, Captain Artemis and her squad are shocked to discover that their otherwise destructive military weapons are now entirely inadequate to take down the enemy. But unexpectedly, in their desperate battle for survival, the team stumbles upon a mysterious local huntsman whose superior combat skills allow him to stay one step ahead of the mighty creatures. Is there an escape from the prison realm? Above all, what does it take to become a fearless monster hunter? Bum, bum, bum. I mean, right? Kind of hokey, and you know what? This film, I, I, boy, boy, oh, I very much struggled with this, but I had to come back to this film several times because I just was, I just had to throw my hands up and be like, no, like no, I cannot do this. And then I was like, okay, I should finish it. I should. Maybe it gets better, right? Maybe it get. I don't know. But yo, oh my gosh, this is so crazy, right? So at the beginning, we get these flying ships flying kind of pirate ships, like going through sand and all of this. And we have it then just take anchor, and everyone's like, "Blah, blah, 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 blah." Then they get attacked by this monster, right? And you get this whole, oh wait, what's happening? This monster's attacking, and you're just kind of thinking, wait, you would know that there's these monsters that live in this thing. Like, what the fuck? Like, because they know what the monster is. That's the crazy thing. It's just like, oh no, it's one of these. So it's just like, you know, it lives there. So why the fuck are you just parking up? Like, you know what I mean? You're in straight safety. You know what I mean? I don't understand if they parked up and they're like, okay, we've got to monitor. We have to be careful. If there's any signs of this thing, and we've got to get out of it. But there's none of that, right? They act all shocked, but then they're like, oh, it's this monster. And you're just like, what? So you get all of that. Then we're with Artemis and her group. And it's, I don't know, man. You don't buy Djokovic as an army captain, right? She's talking to the troops, and there's a few scenes where it's meant to be like these inspiring talks. And it's just like, no, like, you just don't buy it, right? You do not buy. The crazy thing is as well, right? She kind of talks at the beginning, and it's really like soft voice. And it's like, okay, so troops, we gotta go, and we gotta go and do. Oh, let's go. Oh, all right. Oh, and just all this bullshit. Then later in the film, it's just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna. And she like, develops this whole gravel weirdness to the voice, and it's just like, what? It's so weird, so weird. But you have these army people doing this thing, but they're in a desert, right? In a desert, no one's breaking a sweat, right? Then when it all goes crazy, no one's dirty or really cut and bloodied, or right, it's just like, huh, what's happening here, right? You have people freaking out, but you're just like, wait, they would have faced all of this. I don't know if they're acting like this. It's all a bit weird. And to be honest with you, the whole army sequence kind of stuff, you feel like it's not really needed, because this film, it goes from one thing to the next, right? But it feels really disjointed in these two kind of aspects of what it is, right? It's very peculiar. But yeah, they're trying to kill this monster. Now, one weird thing is they've got these weapons which aren't working, but they've got this other weapon which no one seems to be like, hold on, why don't we just use the. And then once it's all gone to hell, it's just like, let's use that. And you're just like, wait, wouldn't that have been your first fucking idea when you realize a bullet ain't doing shit, right? Also, they're going willy-nilly with just the way they're firing, not thinking, hold on, we're in a new world. We have a limited supply, right? There's no thought of like, we better kind of ration what we're doing. We better be conscious of this. It's very peculiar. I mean, just the way they got transported to that world through this kind of sandstorm, which just, it's not really it's like some thunder weird, it's a weird thing. But when it appears, they're like, huh, what's that? Not, that shouldn't be here. This is weird. Let's go. They're just standing there going, that's peculiar, isn't it? We don't really see those. Maybe it's a weapon. And you're just like, wait, what? You just to be like, it could be a weapon. Be like, no, Like, you would have known. Yeah, there would have definitely been word that, hold on, we feel that, you know what I mean, Al Qaeda, like whoever, are developing this weapon, right? That, like, everyone would have known, right? The fact being like, oh, it could be, you'd be like, no, no, it couldn't. What the fuck are you talking about? That's just ridiculous. But yeah, they're standing there watching it for a long ass time before then they're like, let's go. Right? But they go and they see these things in the sand, and straight away someone's just like, oh, I think those things will transport someone to, and it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. That is your first idea, not they are maybe ruins from a building, right? There's some religious structures, or right. There's all these other things that you'd think someone would think, oh, maybe it's that. But to be like, oh, I think they're alien devices that transport. Like, okay, okay, what the fuck? Where did that come from? You know what I mean? It's so bizarre, so fucking bizarre. You know what I mean? But so you have all of that. They're in this world trying to do a thing, and we see something happen to Artemis. Right? We see this thing. We hear noises. So then what we see, like you're just like, how does that happen then? Right? If we saw that, how is this happening? Right? It doesn't make any sense. There's things that happen that you think like, wait, what? You know what I mean? We see Tony Jaa's character helping them, but then he gets into a fight with Artemis, and you're just like, wait, what's happening here? This makes no sense. Why would those two fight if he's been helping them all this time? You know what I mean? The fact that his character's got these like a huge bow and arrow. You're just like, why? Like, what's the purpose of this? You just the size of the weapons. You're just like, okay, seems weird, right? But yeah, that fight, the first fight that the Hunter and Artemis have, makes no sense, especially after everything we've seen her go through. Her supposed busted up ankle. You're like, what is this fight? This fight makes like it's insane. You have people flying through the air, smashing into things, but them just picking themselves up, and you're just like, huh? But after all of this, still not really dirty, right? Not really cut up. You just think, what is happening? No sweat, like it's so bizarre. It is so bizarre. Look, I'm watching this film and I'm just like, wait, they watched the Reddies. They watched the Reddies after each day, and they were just like, that my friend is spot on. Oh, we killed that scene. it's oh man, it was a little crazy. It's a little crazy. But yeah, all of this stuff goes on. You have the whole try food from my world, which like what? You mean introducing sugar to someone's diet who hasn't eaten that shit? You'd be like, they'd be ill. Like they'd be super ill. Like, what are we trying to say here? Right? That makes no sense. Makes no sense. And the thing with like the character designs and everything, it like all these hunters, it felt like Final Fantasy knockoffs. That's what it really felt like. Like I'm looking at Rod Perlman and going, that's a real bad wig. It's a real bad fucking wig. It's so is mind blowing. It is mind blowing. Out of nowhere, suddenly the weapons light on fire, right? You just think, how did that? Where did that come from? There's just so much in this film where you just scratching your head, like what? And automatic, they know things like, oh, that's a portal to this world, and oh yeah, that obviously that tower does this thing, and this does this, and you're just like, how would you all know this shit, right? It is straight bizarre, right? The way the film ends, it's clear they are looking to make more, right? They look, which it's a huge game series, so yeah, there's a lot to base it on. Though this, I mean, it's a very thin story. So I don't know what else there is to say about this universe because this felt like it was a struggle to kind of think of something that would tie everything together. So I don't know what the fuck they would do in a second one. You know what I mean? It's kind of bizarre. It's kind of bizarre, but yeah. I guess if you enjoy, well, you know what? If you enjoy Anderson's Resident Evil films, then this probably work for if you enjoy like Alien v Predator, you know what I mean? Like this will be your thing. If you liked those remakes of Clash of the Titans, I feel this will work for you. You know what I mean? If you like those films that are straight to Sci-Fi Channel, then Monster Hunters, people, is your jam. So I watched this on Now TV, but I think you could get it on like most VODs. You know what I mean? You can definitely buy it on Apple and Amazon, all of that. But yeah, people. Anderson does it again. Does it again. I'm I'm hoping you can get back to that Event Horizon days. I don't know, man. I do not know. I scratch my head. I really do. I'm just like, what? Like, what's the motivation? Are they even trying anymore? You know what I mean? But hey, not for me, but they're definitely for people. So, people, Monster Hunter, it is out there.